Yo, what's up, guys? I'm back with another one. I'm going to show you how you can retain clients for your agency, stop the churn, keep clients, build referrals, and a whole lot of other benefits that goes along with this. So I'm just going to dive right into my screen. I'm going to show you the step-by-step process, how you can implement this into your agency within one weekend to help your client retention. So let's dive into it and I'll go through it step by step. So this is exactly how I stop our $10,000 SMMA clients from churning. This is the exact system that we use. I even have the different documents, the SOPs that you can download for yourself. So this is exactly what we do and use. Now, I want to dive into more right now of the problem of why agencies bleed clients, why their churn rate is so bad, and why on the average agency they lose 50% of their clients every single year, which is a crazy statistic. And honestly, it makes sense because every agency I talk to, I see this problem happening with them. And people are always surprised of how we retain clients and deliver a good service. So yeah, it's a really big issue in the space. What causes this issue for agencies is number one, poor communication cadence. Number two, unclear expectations for your clients. Delivery chaos, which can mean a multitude of things. No proactive check-ins. So again, more of communication, and also unstructured service delivery. So they go into the service, don't know what's going on, the team's a mess, it's not consistent across every client, whole lot of problems there. So this is the problem of how agencies actually bleed clients. So now let's get into how to actually fix this issue. But before we get into that, I want to show you the actual cost of churn. So I built a custom calculator here where I'll show you the actual cost of churning your clients and what it's costing you yearly and how it actually costs more than getting new clients. Replacing a client costs more than getting a new client. And I'll kind of dive into the calculator. Before I do that though, I just want to go over some other additional reasons of why keeping clients is so important. So number one, you're going to get way more referrals. So the average client, if you retain them, they're 3 times more likely to refer to other clients. So that means you're getting free client acquisition for new clients to join up in your services. You're not paying anything. You're just giving good service to your current clients and you're getting more. So that's a no-brainer. Two, market reputation and authority. So reputation spreads super fast in industries. For us, we're in real estate. They have group chats on Facebook where they're talking about marketing agencies. If you don't have a good reputation, they're going to figure out that very fast and it's going to hurt your business. Three, enterprise value and exit multiple. So I don't know about you, but I don't want just another job. I don't want this agency to be a job. I actually want to be able to sell this in the future. And to be able to do that, you need really good service and you need to retain clients to actually build enterprise value. Fourthly, team morale and stability. So obviously, if your team is constantly churning clients over and over, they're just going to be hit with difficult conversations, hard calls, and you're not going to be able to build a long-term sustainable team. So if you can actually get clients wins, keep clients, then obviously it makes everything just a lot happier within the internal side of the agency. And then lastly, operational efficiency. So onboarding new clients costs 5 to 10 times more than retaining existing ones. Obviously, this has to do with onboarding, the sales process, how much you're paying to acquire a new customer. So if you can keep clients, it's easy extra revenue for your business every single month or every 6 months if you're on a pay in full model. Now, when it comes to the actual cost, this is a calculator that I can give you to download for yourself. So you can have full access to this calculator, but I just put in some numbers here to kind of give you a good estimate of how much it costs to churn clients. So for this example in this agency, their MRR is 30,000, the average retainer per client is 3,000, their monthly churn rate is 20%, which is pretty high. Cost to acquire clients, $1,500. Sales hours needed to get a new client is 12 hours. Hourly rate, $150. So all of this, monthly lost revenue is $6,000 because you're losing 2 clients a month if you have 10 active clients. The 12-month revenue impact costs $72,000 you're losing for your agency just by having that churn rate. And it costs $3,000 to actually replace a client. So losing a client and then getting a new client costs $3,000 if your churn rate is high. So the total cost of churn of 20% is $78,600, and cost per churn client on average per client is $39,300 per year. So obviously there's a huge money impact when you're losing clients constantly. If you don't put a revenue value to it, you're like, oh, whatever, we're just going to get new clients, but you don't realize you're actually losing more money by losing clients. So let's dive into how to fix this issue, because obviously you know now this is a big issue. Many agencies deal with it, so let's get into how to fix it. So to fix this issue, I have a 4-pillar system. It starts with number 1, bulletproof onboarding. Number 2, communication cadence. Number 3, proactive problem solving. And then number 4, value reinforcement loop. And at the end, I'm going to give you a checklist where you can implement everything I talk about in this video in one weekend to save your client's retention. So let's go over this 4-pillar system. Number 1 is going to be the bulletproof onboarding. So you want your onboarding to be fast, consistent, and to provide clarity and excitement to the client. I see so many agencies where they have such boring onboarding. They just come into the service like, yep, this is it. Next 3 months, this is what we're going to be doing. Hopefully we get some results and good luck. Not us, not us. So for us, number 1, we automate our onboarding. If you want to know more about this, check out my previous video where I go over the entire system of how we automate our onboarding process. Number 2, provide a quick win within the first 7 days. So one thing we do within our agency now is set up their Google My Business profile and optimize it, SEO optimize it, even if they already have an existing one, because we can't get a deal within the first 7 days. That's impossible with our niche. So we want to come up with another quick win. For us, we build their Google My Business profile, and now that looks great on Google. When people search up their name, it kind of correlates with our service, so it's great and they're happy. It's a quick win, but it can be anything else for you. Any quick win within the first 7 days is going to build that excitement for the rest of the service, and I definitely recommend it. Secondly, have a clear structure. So for us, we have the sales close on the call. We have a kickoff meeting, hopefully 3 days or 3 to 7 days after the sales call. And then after the kickoff meeting, we have a launch call. Now, within this launch call, we do a lot of expectation setting. So if I go into here, this is our entire launch call presentation. It takes about an hour to go through, but this 1 hour saves our client retention by 30%. It increased it by 30% by having this one presentation at the start of the onboarding, because it sets great expectations. I'll go to example here. For example, this slide here shows we will do everything in our power to support you. That's what we're here for, but ultimately it's up to you. And we go into certain stats of like how long it might take to actually get results, 4 to 6 weeks to optimize, and we go over this all in a presentation. In the description, I'm going to put a link where you can just copy this presentation for yourself, make a copy and brand it towards you. But this one launch call presentation has increased our retention again by 30%, which is insane. So that is pillar number 1, is having bulletproof onboarding. You want this process to be super seamless, and you want to over communicate during this process too, so they're not wondering, hey guys, what's going on? They might think they're getting scammed because it's an online business and people don't have much trust for it. So onboarding is super important. Pillar number 2, communication cadence. So stop using email or direct messages to communicate with your clients. Streamline communication and don't make it a bottleneck for your service. For us, we use Slack. I don't know anything else I'd recommend. Slack is great. You can create group chats with your clients with all your team members and contractors in there. It's super easy to communicate, and you don't get piled up messages, emails, stuff like that. And essentially what we do for communication with our clients is number 1, have bi-weekly catch-up calls. So I see some agencies do weekly catch-up calls, which I found is too much. I see people do monthly catch-up calls, which I found is too little. People start questioning in between what's going on. I think bi-weekly catch-up calls is the perfect amount for your clients. So you can use a Calendly or Go High Level booking link. You send them out a week before. The client can book in their own call for the next week. Makes it super easy. Honestly, only probably 40 to 60% of our clients actually book in these calls. And I hope they do, because that way I can just go over performance, give them reassurance, stuff like that. You will get clients that just want to ghost you for months. Now, having bi-weekly catch-up calls allows you for 1 week of deep work for all your account managers and media buyers, and then the other week for client communication and also still work in between the calls. But that 1 week without client catch-up calls that they get, you can get so much work done where it makes it easier for the next week. When you speak to the client, you're like, hey, I did this, and this last week. This is what we're going to do next week. And it makes the communication very good. Now, eventually, you also want to get a CSM for your agency. This might be a point where you're at like 30 to 50K a month possibly, but you want to get a customer success manager. This person's entire role is to get on calls with your clients and make sure they're happy. If there's any problems, this guy needs to communicate it from the client to the team. But this role just needs to be a good person with a great personality that clients like. And this is just going to help the relationship as a whole within your agency. You also want to over communicate everything that you do, including updates for campaigns, new ads that you're creating, new changes, everything that you do. You want to update your client on the Slack channel, and you want the client to do nothing and you just update them with everything. You don't want to constantly be asking them like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? You don't want to be asking them anything. Only ask them to do super important tasks that you need. That's a bottleneck for you completing the task. But other than that, you just want to communicate everything that you do and barely ask the client for anything at all. Lastly is monthly reports. So if you don't already do this, definitely recommend getting Google Looker Studio. Create a custom report for their Facebook or Google dashboards. Have all the metrics in there. This way they just know what's going on. You can provide the data. I would also recommend kind of showing that data in the bi-weekly catch-up calls, but some people just like having a PDF of the monthly report just to communicate with their team. So I definitely recommend that as well. But yeah, the whole purpose of communication cadence is to keep clients in the loop, make them feel valued, and it prevents any silent churn. There's been so many times where at the start of our agency, maybe we didn't communicate as much as we should be, and these people churn just because they feel like they're not being heard. Okay, so pillar 3 is going to be proactive problem solving. So as you know, problems always occur with service-based businesses, but how do you prevent these problems from actually causing churn within your agency? So number 1, always acknowledge the issue before the client notices. This is something we learned very, very early on. If you're going into a call, don't let the client bring up the problem first, because it's going to make you seem like you don't know what's going on. You're not checking their accounts daily. You're not doing anything at all. If you bring the problem to the client first, even if they know about it, now it's like, okay, I've acknowledged the problem. Here's the solution, how to get past it, and that's it. It's not like, oh, they just caught you and you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe we should do this or that, and you feel very uncertain. No, you want to bring the problem up first, so make sure you're on top of that. Secondly, never overly apologize. So I see so many people when I'm reviewing calls with like tough situations with their client, they're like, oh, Mr. John, I'm so sorry this happened. We won't let this happen again. I'm very disappointed, blah, blah, blah. And they're just apologizing. It makes you seem weak. You want to be very straightforward and give the solution to the problem. So if a problem arises, be like, hey, listen, we messed up on this. That sucks, but here's how we're gonna get forward. I'm gonna assign this person to your account. We're gonna make this change, and we're gonna get back to normal. Just make it very straightforward. Give a solution. They don't care about the emotional feelings of you messing up. They just want to find a solution and get past it. That's it. Third, clients constantly need reassurance, especially when things are not going well. For us, again, we're in the real estate space. The lead cycle is very long, so these clients need constant reassurance on these calls. So we're constantly bringing up saying like, hey, this may take 3 or 4 months to actually get 20,000 back from this investment, but it's going to be so worth it. But any niche that you're in, you constantly need to give reassurance to your client that's just like, hey, be patient. We're going to make these changes. We're seeing good wins here. It's all going to work out in the end. That reassurance is so important to have. Lastly, I have 2 documents here. Again, I'll put this all in the description, or you can comment the word SOP and I'll send these all to you. But you want to have NPR surveys, which is a net promoter score, and then also an SOP for client catch-up calls. So it's not just a random catch-up call. Your account manager or you doesn't know what to say. Everything should be structured with certain questions they need to ask. So the first thing is the surveys. So this is a monthly survey that you would send to your client. So they put in their name, date, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely you recommend our agency to another client. What do you enjoy most about working with their agency? Are there any areas of service you feel like could be improved? Any additional services or features that you would like us to offer? How satisfied are you with communication support to receive from our team? How confident are you in the strategy we've implemented in your business? And they have the option to leave a Google review. I would just leave a link here, honestly, to your Google My Business page. But getting these questions asked and kind of just checking in with your clients every single month is very, very important, because like I said, a lot of people like to just ghost. You don't know how they're feeling. But if you can catch the problem before it really turns into a big issue and find a solution before that happens, you're going to save a client from churning and you're going to be able to retain them. So being able to send these monthly reports to your clients, it makes them feel heard. It's an easy way for them to communicate any problems without it being kind of awkward, bringing it directly to you. So definitely recommend having a Google form like that. Secondly, like I mentioned, for the client catch-up calls, this is the structure that we have. So they would put in the call link, so all the calls should be recorded for the manager to review or you to review. How many potential deals are in the works currently? So this may change depending on your niche, but essentially just kind of checking in how the service is going. Main bottleneck with the appointments you've had so far with their agency. Have you experienced any challenges recently that we could help you out with? How would you rate the quality of the leads in 1 to 10? Do you feel confident with your current follow-up process? Any market changes? And then internally, your account manager or you, whoever's taking these calls, can answer how happy is this client with the service so far? What is one idea to improve the account right now? Next steps for the account, and then risk level for churn, which is super, super important. So for a catch-up call week, we may have 30 to 60 calls that go on. I have to review all these sheets every single week, catch-up call week, and I look at who's at risk for churn. If there's any clients that are very high risk for churn, then I will handle it. I will go out to them and find a solution, but now I'm actually aware of which clients are struggling, because without this process, I would have no idea. There might be clients that are high churn. I don't really reach out to them, they churn, and I'm like, wow, we could have fixed that way beforehand. So having this process is really, really helpful. So again, these documents will be in the description below. So yeah, the purpose of proactive problem solving is showing that you're on top of problems before they explode. That's the whole purpose. Now, pillar 4, and the last pillar, value reinforcement loop. So some clients are winning, but they don't know they're winning because most are very greedy. So an example of this is I had a client who made $100,000 from a $10,000 investment they made from us, and he still wasn't happy and wanted more, which is crazy. But that's just almost human nature, and some people are very greedy. They just want more and more and more. It's never enough. So now a lesson I learned from that is I have to give way more reinsurance to make sure that he knows that he's crushing. A 10x ROAS is crushing. Like 10x ROAS is insane. 3 to 4x ROAS is even crazy. But the biggest reason for this is if you want to show off the results, compare it to industry standards and compare other services to give reinforcement of how good you are. That's the main goal, is just to show them that, hey, this is working really, really well. Look at the industry standard. These people are getting a 2x, 3x ROAS on your investment. You just get a 10x ROAS. Like, we are crushing. We need to keep this going. And obviously it's going to help you retain them if you just show them how well they're actually doing in reality, because they probably don't know. They haven't done marketing before, or they don't know how other services act. So yeah, constantly give that new reassurance. Have a wins channel in your Slack or in the individual Slack group chats. Just make a huge deal out of the small wins that are happening on their account, just so they feel they're motivated and they feel like they are winning at the end of the day. So yeah, the whole purpose of this pillar is just to remind clients why they pay you. It keeps them excited to stay with your service. So yeah, overall, those are the 4 pillars and the 4 things that I really think that helps with client retention and that works for us. We brought our client retention from 30%, which is absolutely terrible, to now 70%, 68, 70% on 10K in full payments. So obviously it works pretty well. So I would just basically use this implementation checklist that I created for you. Again, that will be in the description, that you can use to implement all of this over the weekend to make sure that now you're starting to retain clients. You have the systems in place to retain them, and you're not just looking at this video and being like, oh wow, yeah, it makes sense, and then you're skipping through and your client retention is still shit. Like, actually take all this information and use it within your agency. So if you click on this link in the description below, I'm going to give you a little implementation checklist. In this checklist, I have everything going from auditing your client communication, setting up automated touch points, create, update value reporting templates, schedule proactive check-ins, all the good stuff that mainly has to do with communication with your clients, so you can retain more people. And that's the whole entire goal. Like I said at the start, it's so important to retain your clients. There's a lot of costs involved with it of losing clients. So you make sure you want to retain them and build enterprise value, build a reputation for your niche. And yeah, I hope this is helpful. If it was, hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys helping me out. I want to take this to the next level and show you more systems to help with your agency. So leave any comments with any future video ideas. And other than that, enjoy the beautiful day and peace.